What's up, world? Welcome back to Charge the Game podcast. And yes, I am back. Finally. Man, I've been trying to get free to drop this content, but I've been caught up with a lot of things today, trying to get into a new house and everything, y'all. But I am back, the one and only Chuck. I'll be your host here today, and today's video is going to be about a topic that's huge right now. Obviously, it's from Stephen A. Smith. The king of stirring up SHIT. But before we get into this video, I want to ask you guys to do me one huge favor, and is hit that subscribe button in the bottom right of your screen, and also hit that notification bell so you guys can continue to get the sports related topics when I drop them. So, man, let's get into this one. Now, I've been waiting to get into this one. Been caught up the last few days, like I just said. But guess what? Your boy is free now, so I'm about to go in. So we all know that Stephen A. Smith is bored, right? Obviously, the numbers at ESPN are down. They're not as down or low as normal, but I'm just going to say it like it is. Stephen A. Smith is holding ESPN down, but the only way he's going to continue to hold ESPN down is by constantly making outrageous takes, okay? Now, you guys saw the video I did where Lonzo Ball pretty much confronted him, asked him, man, who are your sources, Stephen A. Smith? Because Stephen A. Smith just like to Stephen A. Smith just like to be freaking relevant. Man, it'd be so hard not to cuss when I bring up this dude's name because he just annoys me that much. But we all know that Steph Curry was asked right around the time, Ant-Man made his top 5 list. So both of those have been trending, and I made a video about that as well. So I'll tell you what, I'll drop both links to the previous video, Stephen A. Smith, where Lonzo Ball confronted him, and if you guys haven't heard about Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards' top 5 list where he left LeBron James off of it, I'll be sure to drop that into the link. So anyway, Stephen A. Smith has recently dropped another hot topic, right? And this is how you know I'm not lying, right? Stephen A. Smith has to wake up and serve his boss. That's what he says he likes to do. He likes to think of ways to make his boss money. And then once he thinks of a way to make his boss money, his boss okays it, and he goes on to coon and perform for his master, okay? So Stephen A. Smith recently got confronted by Lonzo Ball for taking a horrific take. Talking about this boy can't even stand up on or get up out of a chair, perhaps, right? So what does Lonzo Ball do? Lonzo Ball makes a video with him standing up on one leg. He's standing up on one leg and then showing Stephen A. Smith that you're a liar. He pretty much called him out, right? So what does Stephen A. Smith do, right? Stephen A. Smith has to counter it, right? So he has to use the one and only, the legend, the king, the stamp, the motherfucking greatest of all time, Michael Jordan, come through to pretty much say that, pretty much come through and put him back in good standing with the fans, right? Get him back in good grace so that anything he puts out is going to be gospel again, right? So this post come from ESPN, and obviously this is related to Steph Curry and the Magic Johnson debate, in which I will give my take on that as well. It says, however, this time it's not LeBron James versus Michael Jordan, though somehow Jordan is involved, as is often the case with all things in NBA, right? Y'all know that because Michael Jordan the GOAT. This debate is about the greatest point guard of all time, and it boils down to Stephen Curry versus Magic Johnson, which is honestly that's an ugly comparison. At least LeBron James and Michael Jordan, same number 23, both athletic. Both freak of natures, both do unbelievable things. Okay, that's a pretty good comparison. But in my opinion, this is like comparing. This just doesn't work for me. But anyway, it started earlier this week when Curry was a guest on Gil's Arena. Y'all know who Gilbert Arena is, I'm sure. The podcast hosted by former NBA All-Star Gilbert Arenas, who posed this question to Curry: are you the best point guard ever? Yes, Curry said. Yes, it's me and Magic. That's the conversation. Magic's resume is ridiculous, Curry added. So the fact that we're even having that conversation is a place I never thought I'd be in. Okay. First off, this is hard to compare. In my opinion, I think that You just got to split it straight down the middle and just look at the eras, right? Obviously, Magic Johnson thrived in a more physicality, more physical league, right? Steph Curry has finesse game. Steph Curry reinvented the game. I mean, so they both hold significant weight. They both have done crazy things. Magic has done things as a rookie, and Steph Curry has revolutionized the game, right? So we're going to get into Stephen A's take, right, where he pretty much, had to come back and redeem himself and say that, Michael Jordan sent him this text saying that it is not Steph Curry who's the best, but it's Magic Johnson.
Who does have a point as well. It would happen to be somebody that texted me this morning at 5:54 a.m. that wrote a pretty long-ass quote and then gave me permission, which he almost never does, to quote him publicly and tell the world what he said. Ladies and gentlemen, weighing in on Steph Curry and whether or not he's the greatest point guard in NBA history over Irvin Magic Johnson is none other than Michael Jordan himself. And here was his quote to me. Good morning, sir. Although greatest of anything is always a debate, I beg to differ on your greatest point guard of all time. Magic Johnson is easily the best point guard of all time. Steph is very close, but not in front of Magic. You must define point guard to have a serious debate. Steph is by far the best shooter ever.
And there you go, right? So that's none other than Michael Jordan weighing in, and I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I gotta respect Michael Jordan. I ain't gonna lie. But I gotta respect him enough to just still admit that Steph Curry still holds weight in this. He is more than just the best shooter. Oh, yes. Steph Curry, man, is dynamic. Steph Curry is special. Now, Michael Jordan was right? And let's get this out the way. If Michael Jordan is saying that Magic Johnson is the best, it's because Michael Jordan is comparing his era, which is known to be more physical, more rough, more rowdy, more hand check, more hands on deck. Like, he's comparing his era because his era was the best. Just being honest, guys. You had the most raw talent. You had the most locked in guys, not cheating the game, not taking no load management, giving it everything they got. Blood, sweat, and tears. Boston Celtics, New York Knicks, Lakers, Jazz, the Bulls, of course, man. Like, the list goes on, man. Like, you had warriors back in the day. So Michael Jordan is speaking from the gauntlets that he's faced with Magic Johnson. And you got to think about Magic Johnson's overall game. And I'm saying that to say this. If he thinks that Magic Johnson is better than Steph Curry, at least because of what he saw in his era, what do you guys think? Like, how do you guys think he feels about the comparison of him and LeBron? It's laughable. It's laughable, and he knows it, right? Notice LeBron James had to come out and say, "Oh, that time right there when I won that championship in Cleveland, that solidified me as the greatest of all time." You ever heard Michael Jordan come out and say that? No. Michael Jordan doesn't entertain this. He doesn't care, because that's something you let the game dictate. So he's letting you guys know, just as well as he is the greatest of all time in comparison to LeBron, Steph Curry is the greatest of all time in comparison to Magic. Now, look at these guys' game, right? Steph Curry, right? Revolutionized the game, has finesse game. He goes off. But look at the rules. You can't sit here and tell me that Steph Curry will be able to do all of this, right? You can't tell me that he'll be able to do all this when guys up in his face, checking him, pushing him, beating him up, right? Jordan did. Magic did. That's why I'm not going to lie. I am split. I think that Steph Curry has revolutionized the game, but he's been able to revolutionize the game because of where the game has gone. Load management, easy, offensive rules, barely touch, breathe on somebody the wrong way, it's a foul, And I always preach this, so if you guys new to the channel, you're going to always hear me making old school comparisons on who was the best. I'm just being honest. I'm going to always do that. right? So I can agree that Magic Johnson's overall game, his overall game, the physicality, man, the playing with them big dogs, even like his starting line. Look at this guy's starting lineup coming into the league, man, as a rookie. When I think he got drafted in what, 79, right? I believe that's when Magic Johnson got drafted. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Matty Barnes, Jim Jones, Michael Cooper, Spencer Haywood, Brad Holland, right? Mark Landsberger, Butch Lee, Norm Nixon, Jamal Wikes, right? You feel me? Like, this guy walked into a great lineup and still took over, right? Let's look at Magic Johnson's rings, right? I think a lot of y'all be forgetting this, right? We got the year he drafted, right? 1980, Lakers versus Sixers, 4-2 win series. 1982, Lakers versus 76ers, 4-2. Lakers win that joint, right? When the Lakers won against, then you got Lakers versus Celtics, right? Won that joint, 4-2. Oh, he a 4-2 animal, ain't he? Then you got NBA Finals, Lakers versus Celtics again, 4-2 again in 87, right? Then you got Lakers versus Pistons, Lakers won. Those are all 5 of Magic Johnson's rings, all accounted for, right? And we go to Steph Curry. We all know Steph Curry's story, right? It was mostly against LeBron James, right? Won in 2015 against the Cavaliers, right? Won in Warriors versus Cavaliers 2017. Won in the Cavaliers 2018, right? Then, he just recently won against the Celtics. So Steph Curry has an outstanding resume as well. The game has changed, but they both are dynamic players in their own way, right? But Stephen A. Smith, we're going to get back to you, bro. We're going to get back to Stephen A. Smith because Stephen A. Smith is only using Michael Jordan for media content. This is why ESPN holds on to Stephen A. Smith. This guy, and I keep telling y'all, Stephen A. Smith is more of an entertainer. And I was listening to Kwame Brown this morning, and I was like, you know what? Shout out to Kwame Brown. That's a real brother there. And I made videos about him as well. I was listening to Kwame Brown this morning, and I was just like, I don't know, man. This guy really be on this stuff. Like, he really calls it out. You know what I'm saying? The same thing I'm saying, he pretty much is saying the same thing. You know what I mean? And I was thinking this way before I even heard this guy's video, but he pretty much is saying how Stephen A. Smith has to do stuff like this. Think about this. What am I doing right now, y'all? I'm covering Stephen A. Smith's takes. Okay? What do you think all these other YouTubers are doing? People are using Stephen A. Smith to give their opinions, right? And think about this pyramid scheme, because that's all it is. Stephen A. Smith is at the top, right? Stephen A. Smith, this is a Ponzi scheme. This is how media works. And I want you guys to think about this. If there's a triangle, right? We all know what a pyramid scheme and a Ponzi scheme is. It's pretty much where the head honcho gets everything off of the worker ants. We're going to say it like that. So we have worker ants like me being a YouTuber, right? Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith not even at the top. ESPN is at the top, okay? So we got ESPN at the top and Stephen A. Smith is under that. Top dogs don't have to do nothing. Stephen A. Smith gives the orders. We do the orders, right? The orders are put out outrageous takes. And what do you guys think is going to happen? Right? You're going to have multiple YouTubers like myself making content based off our opinions because we are passionate about sports or the game, right? What do you guys think this is going to do to Stephen A. Smith's YouTube channel and ESPN, right? It's going to direct traffic towards him, therefore equivalating to more ratings. Who eats? ESPN, baby. You guys just got to think like a businessman. That's all Stephen A. Smith does. And I ain't gonna lie, it gets on my everlasting nerves. But I gotta respect the hustle of this guy, man. His takes are outrageous, but he has to do what he has to do because that's the only way that he's gonna stay relevant and not even give ESPN a chance to think about laying him off. But anyway, that's my take on everything, guys. You let me know in the comment section how you feel about this take. Or even if y'all think that it was really Michael Jordan who texted him, because I be iffy on all that. Y'all let me know like always. Like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let me know how you charge to the game. Peace.